Hey there, I'm Ashby Mixon with the Clemson Insider, and today I'm here with Cameron Burnett to talk about the action from the first 2 days of the ACC Kickoff.
So I'll tell you what, the first day was really interesting because Syracuse, a program that's kind of been coming up recently, they lost a lot of big pieces going into next year, but they seem really confident. Their quarterback, Garrett Schrader, he came in and we asked him about Clemson. It's like, what do you feel? You obviously had a close game last year. They got to go up there. They got to play them in their place. And Schrader said this is the year that they feel like they can beat Clemson. It's bold, but it seems like the ACC and a lot of teams are kind of building a lot of confidence because obviously Clemson since the mid-2010s has dominated, and it seems like they kind of want to change that image around the conference, and they feel like they can do it this year.
Interesting. And then what about today stood out to you? Any highlights that you really thought were interesting?
So I think first of all, Duke was really interesting because it's a school that's known as a basketball school, but it seems like things are changing a little bit, obviously. They have a young team, but a talented team. And it seems like Mike Elko is really putting in a lot of work over there. And 9 wins seems like it'll be the standard, if not more, for the future for them. But I think other than them, the other thing that really stood out today, a lot of people knew it coming in. Duke was a little bit of a surprise the way people were talking. But Florida State, a lot of people have a lot of expectations for them. And it's weird because looking back at the game last year, it was a 34-14 game in the second half, and it was pretty much over. But then Florida State came running back, ended up being a 6-point game, and I think that really speaks to where the two programs are right now. Florida State returned some of their best players. Jordan Travis is one of the most explosive playmakers in the country, especially in the conference. And then who we talked to today a lot, Jared Verse, a pass rusher who will be a top 10 pick next year in the draft. He decided to return along with those guys, and it seems like Mike Norvell has a really strong team. And Jared Verse, when talking about last year's game, obviously I said that 20-point deficit in the second half. One of the things he said was it was all self-inflicted mistakes. So going into next year, he said those mistakes will not happen again, and he feels like Florida State can end up taking over that title in the conference again. But the key part to think about is there's no more divisions. Obviously, you fight for the ACC Coastal last year, so that one game where they meet each other kind of decides where the conference plays out as a whole. But this year, with no divisions, they could see each other again in the ACC Championship, which could be an even bigger game than when they take the trip to Death Valley.
Well, that's a lot to look forward to this year and a lot of great stuff today. Tomorrow we'll be hearing from our Clemson Tigers as well as a lot of other teams. We have Will Putnam, Cade Klubnik, and Tyler Davis, as well as Coach Sweeney here tomorrow to talk about this upcoming season. We'll have all coverage for you on the Clemson Insider, and we'll see you tomorrow.